What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video of Picky Garage. Today I just want to touch on a topic that's been swiping across YouTube lately. A lot of car YouTube channels along with like 23 million other YouTube channels have recently got hacked. Not a lot of you guys know my background, but I am in the cybersecurity field as an occupation, and I've been in the field for many and many years now. And I just was gonna give some insight on, how to protect yourself against hackers, or protect yourself against, your YouTube channel getting hacked. The steps I'm gonna give to you guys aren't going to protect you fully, but it's going to help mitigate and reduce the threat field of you getting compromised, or your YouTube channel getting compromised in this case. So a little background information for you guys that don't know what happened recently. A lot of YouTubers, car YouTubers, all YouTubers, 23 million different YouTubers got hacked, which their YouTube channels were hacked, and they ended up deleting their account or shutting their account down, and a lot of people started to freak out. Hackers were able to do this by sending a phishing email, which a phishing email is a email that's sent to probably the YouTuber's email address, and that YouTuber clicked on a link that they shouldn't have clicked on, which brought them to a Google sign-in page, and that's when they authenticated using their password, username and password, which is the same password that they probably use for their YouTube account. And that's how these hackers were able to come in and steal their accounts pretty much, and lock their accounts or delete all their YouTube content. The stinky thing, or the bad thing about this, is a lot of people or YouTubers are waiting for YouTube to do something about it, but in all reality there's nothing really that YouTube can do. They could have backup servers, but really they have petabytes of data, more than petabytes. I mean, an astronomical amount of data. You can just think about how big Google is as a company, and YouTube is, and there's millions of YouTube channels along with millions, if not trillions, of YouTube videos. So they don't really have a RAID storage or a backup of people's YouTube accounts. They might have some videos, but a lot of these YouTube channels aren't going to get back their channels. That's pretty much the end of the story. A lot of these people are gonna have to start from scratch, which is awful when someone devotes all their time and effort into creating content. You have to you take videos, you edit the videos, upload them, and wait for people to watch them. It's really sad, and I feel for these people. So I'm making this video how you can protect yourself, so you're not another victim, and you don't lose hours and months and years of hard work. Another reason why YouTube can't really do anything about this is due to the fact that there's millions of YouTube accounts, and the amount of manpower it would take to try to back up or get back all these 23 million YouTube accounts with all the videos, all the storage. It would be hundreds of full-time employees that would have to get this data. It's in reality not going to happen, and it's really sad that it's not going to happen. Once again, a lot of people spend a lot of time for YouTube. It's some people's livelihoods, and it's really tough. So I'm going to give you guys a couple steps on how to protect yourself on the web. First being with how to really mitigate reduce your chance of getting hacked is have separate email accounts. Don't use the same email for YouTube that you do for social media, that you do for monthly subscriptions, that you do for banking. Have separate email addresses. And I always recommend that the email address that you use for your most sacred stuff, most likely banking and YouTube or whatever, have an email address that you don't give anybody. No one needs to know that email address. No one. Not a single person. And so that's step one. Have separate email addresses. Don't always be willing to give out your email address. Step two is when you get a email from someone you don't know, or even someone that you do know, don't click the link. Never click the link. I never click links. Well, I try not to click links. There are some times that I do click links, and yes, even being in the security field, I have been, I have fallen victim to a phishing email where I clicked the link, and as soon as I clicked it, I realized what I did, and I just wiped the VM. That's another thing that I can go into with phishing stuff, is if you separate your computer through VM. That's not related to YouTube, but I'll make another video if you guys are interested in how to really secure yourself. So first, separate email addresses. Second, don't click on any URL links, and if you do, run the links through VirusTotal, or just email the person back and say, hey, what are you sending me? If it's like a friend or family, or send them a text and make sure that it's actually legitimately them, because what a lot of these hackers will do is they will confiscate someone else's email address and then send you an email through that. We actually have a good friend who owns a big computer company, and one of his employees was hacked, and that employee was actually a system administrator, so oversaw a lot of credentials in people's accounts, and they emailed the owner of the company and said, hey, could you tell me your password? I have to reset something. And he almost did it, which would have been a big no-no. He would have been compromised and hacked and probably lost a lot of data. So one, different email addresses. Two, don't click on links, and verify that the links are real, or what it's looking at, what you're actually looking at is something, if it says HTTPS, it's always better to use than HTTP. It's more secure. I can go in more detail with that on another video if you guys want me to. The third thing that you all should be doing is never use the same password. Make sure your password is complex, over 18 characters in length. That means 18 characters as in so 5 characters would be A, B, C, D, E. Don't use a password like that, but 18 characters of length, very complex, and never use the same password. Yes, it stinks that you have to remember a different password, but it's just in your best it's in your behalf to have a very complex password, for one, and for two, don't use the same password, because if someone compromises one system or one email, and you have the same password, they can literally take it across any platform. Instagram, YouTube, your bank accounts, your emails. Actually, the email is actually the key to the kingdom, because you can reset everything through email. All your passwords, everything you can reset through email. So being a hacker, that's what we look for, is if I can get your email and get into it, you're done for, pretty much. So never use the same password. And one thing that you can do with passwords is to help remember them when you have a lot of passwords, is come up with phrases like, if you love going to the beach, I love going to the beach, and then pick a day in the future that you went to the beach that was very memorable, and use that date. And then for different platforms, you can have different dates that you went to the beach. For YouTube, you could have a date that you went to Cancun. For Instagram, you could use a date, I love the beach, and then use the date that you went to Colorado or something like that. You get the point. But it helps when you have a whole bunch of different accounts to memorize your passwords. So use different email addresses. Don't give your email address out. Make sure you're not clicking on any links. Password complexity, make sure it's really 18 characters or above. Make sure you're using capital, lowercase letters, numbers, special characters, things as such. That will really help you from, getting hacked. And you should be changing your password, every 6 months, I'd say. What stinks is there's the things called rainbow tables, which are, just, I think it's like 16 gigs is the last one. Whenever a company gets hacked, like YouTube or Google or Credit Karma or whatever it was that got hacked, all these passwords go out there, and what it goes to this, to the dark web, and then it goes to these rainbow tables where they can run these rainbow table attacks against, your usernames, email addresses. And if you don't change your password and you have that one password for every account, you can get compromised and hacked. There's no, the sucky thing is there's no real, true defense mechanism against hacking. It comes down, you can be as secure as you want, but if the website that you're using isn't secure, there's no way around it. It's a stinky thing, but that's why the security space is so big and so vast and expanding every year, because there's just so much stuff online that can be compromised, and everything's online. Your whole life is online now. So it really stinks. But these couple of things that I'm sharing with you guys will help protect you from losing your YouTube account, hopefully. Now, let's say you do lose your YouTube account. That's really a stinky thing. Make sure you have backups of your YouTube videos, because worst case, if they can't bring back your YouTube videos, but they can bring back your site and your subscribers, then you can just re-upload your YouTube videos. So make sure you have backups of your YouTube videos. If you go onto Amazon, let's go to Amazon. It's actually, you can buy storage now for not too bad of prices. You want an SSD, so let's do 2 terabyte SSD, and this will hold tons of storage. Look at that, 4 terabyte Elements portable external hard drive 3.0, which means it downloads fast. $99. So for $99 you can back up a lot of YouTube videos. If you're running 1080p, if you're running 4K videos, it's going to fill up a lot faster. But at 1080p, just back up your videos so you don't lose your stuff. So if your YouTube channel does get compromised, you can just hopefully get your YouTube channel back. And worst case, if they can't get your videos back, at least you have your subscribers and you can re-upload your videos. That's a big thing. So make sure you have backups. Back up everything and back up the backups. A lot of these ransomware attacks, what happens is they lock down your computer, and once you get compromised or ransomware, normally because you're not running updates, you have old systems, or if you click a link and it has executable where they can take over your computer, then your computer's compromised. But let's say you have backups. Well, you can just wipe the machine. Doesn't matter at that point. Let them have it because you have your backups. And then let's say your backup or your external hard drive is connected and they lock that down too. Well, that's when you have the backup of the backup. That's when the backups of backups come in. And this really helps protect you guys. I know I'm getting off track from YouTube, but I'm just trying to help out and help the common fellow of how to really secure yourself, because a lot of these things, they just happen, and it really stinks that it does happen. But guys, I really hope this helps. If you have any questions at all on security related stuff, you can ask me. Feel free to ask me. But remember, make sure you're using different emails. Don't click on any links that anyone sends to you. Verify what the content is. Send them a text, give them a call. Make sure they're not sending you anything stupid. If it's hard not to click on things, especially when YouTube is like your source of income and people are sending you tons of different emails. But I would have separate email accounts for promotion stuff. That way you're not your main source of YouTube content isn't tied to your promotional email. Use a different email. Different passwords is also a big thing. Make sure they're complex passwords, and don't use the same password for anything. And make sure you're changing these passwords. I went over a couple ways to create a complex password. I love going to the beach in July 19th, 2025. All right, you can use the first letter of the sentence. You can use, a E, a 3 instead of an E, a 0 instead of an O, little things like that. You can get fancy with it. There's also websites that can help you build complex passwords. This will help you guys in protecting yourself, and make sure you're backing up all your videos just in case you do get compromised, because no one's perfect, and to be honest, no one's not hackable. Like what we like to say in the security field is hacking is inevitable, but detection is a must. So it's impossible to prevent yourself from getting hacked. If someone wants to hack you, they will hack you. The guys out there are super good, and you'd actually be surprised how easy it is to actually hack somebody. But just be prepared, have backups. Have a backup plan of what you're going to do if that day was to happen. What you can do is you can have a website where you have people go to, so you don't lose your audience. You have Instagram, you have Twitter. Make sure that your audience is cross multi-platforms, so if one platform goes down, you still have the other platforms. You still have your website, you still have your Instagram, you still have your Twitter, you still have your Facebook, where you can still gather an audience to, let's say, worst case scenario, you lose your YouTube, you have to start from scratch. Well, at least you have some of your following on your other platforms that you can bring back to YouTube to create your new channel, and you can upload, since you have those backups, some of your old videos. This, guys, will really help you, and if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Leave a comment. If you think what I'm saying isn't whatever, and you have other suggestion, please leave a comment. I'm here to help you guys out, and I love learning new things. So if you guys have other inputs or suggestions, please let me know. If you guys think this is some of the basic stuff, Michael Jordan, or I forget who it was sports player. I'm not a big sports player, but they always said they always stuck with the basics. The basics are key, guys. Passwords, different email accounts. I can't say it enough. Just implement these strategies, guys, and you will be protected, and you'll be able to go to sleep, and you will be able to go to sleep perfect at night, knowing that your stuff is, you have your backup plan, your stuff is secure. You're trying to be as secure as possible, and you're preparing for the worst. So if that day does come, you have a plan. Guys, thank you for watching. I know this isn't really car related, but I hope it helps some of you out. Please, just take what I say into consideration. For the people that did get hacked, I'm sorry. And I hate to bear you bad news, but I really doubt that YouTube is going to be able to do anything about this event, just because of the complexity, 23 million people, and the sheer amount of data that it takes to bring all that back. It would be too many employees, and I don't think YouTube's going to do it, sadly enough. That's probably why we haven't heard anything from YouTube about this, or what they're going to do. So it stinks. For those of you that haven't been hacked, don't click any links. Just don't do it. And guys, I hope this helps. Thanks as always for watching Piggy Garage. If you have any questions, like I said, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.